Hello, adventurers. Welcome to the new world of Aeternum. If you've been watching my streams recently, then you know that I've been playing Amazon Games' newest release, New World, which just finished their closed beta. But is this game worth picking up when it releases in September? Here's my take on New World. New World has a lot to offer. Overall, my experience with this game was very positive. If you've enjoyed MMOs and you really like questing, this game has you covered. While there is a main storyline and a few side quests, each area in the game has its own specific quest. Plus, there are tons of town quests and a never-ending supply of faction quests. In 50 hours of gameplay, I never ran out of quests. In fact, I had more than I could handle and found myself abandoning them. There's a variety as well. Some send you to areas to explore, some send you to PvP, some will help you level up your skills. There's enough to choose from that if something doesn't suit you, say you don't want to fish up 20 medium salmon, then you don't have to pick it up. With this comes my first real complaint about this game, and it's a problem with most games, and that is repetitive quests. It goes without saying, yet I'm saying it, this game does eventually repeat some quests. Certain quests are repeated more frequently than others, like killing bunnies, or turning and harvesting materials, or making mana potions. So while this is a negative, I would say this is fairly typical of any game with quests, and especially with quests that renew frequently. If you've played a few MMOs, then you are likely familiar with classes or roles. New World streamlines this into a one character can do it all kind of system. For example, rather than choosing to be a caster or a tank at the beginning of the game, you can decide by just swapping weapons. Players level up their weapons and can choose points and ability as they do so. Get tired of using a sword and shield? Swap to a staff. Tired of a musket? Swap to a great axe. This potentially saves players a lot of time, not having to completely level up an entirely new character to try out a different role or class. On the flip side of this, for some people this might be lacking for those who want a character that has more than just 3 abilities. So this leaves players spending a lot of time just hack and slashing, and even more so since there is no aiming or targeting system implemented. If you're the type of player who enjoys leveling or honing your skills in gathering or refining of materials, then you'll love this game. Both of these are fairly easy to do, and there's a large amount of items to gather. When you've leveled up a skill a bit, you start to gain tracking of those items on your compass at the top of your screen. This makes finding resources you want and need a lot easier. As someone who typically finds this type of thing tedious, I actually quite enjoy it. On the flip side of this, the leveling of crafting itself, not as fun. Town quests can help you level these up some, but since your faction store, quest, and just random drops around the map offer such good items, the crafting of gear feels a little lackluster. I tried crafting some gear and then salvaging it down to get materials back, but overall it just didn't feel worth it. Engineering was the only real crafting skill I put the effort into leveling up, and that was only so I could get steel tools to gather and harvest. While gathering new gear is part of the fun, crafting of items definitely needs a bit of an overhaul. Players won't want to level this up if getting gear from vendors or drops is easier and consistently better than the crafted items. There should be some reward for choosing to craft. This game offers a variety of playstyles, and I have to say, playing how you want should be appealing to the masses. And apparently it was, because New World picked up more than a whopping 200,000 concurrent players in the first few days of the closed beta, and overall, the reviews are very positive. Amazon Games reported that more than 1 million adventurers entered Aeternum. The game offers PvE in the form of expeditions and open world tasks in the form of corrupted areas. It also has a variety of places to explore, skills to level, quest lines, and tasks for players to complete. Do you want to buy a house and furnish it? You can. Want to build a company of friends and wipe out the corruption? You can. Do you want to run a city and tax your people? You can. If you're more into PvP, there's plenty of PvP opportunities in the form of wars, controlling forts, and quests. While I personally didn't participate in much PvP, this was a highly desirable part of the game for many, many players. There is one negative that I haven't covered yet, and in my opinion, it's kind of a big one. There is a lot of walking. enough that some players have referred to New World as a walking simulator. While I mostly did not mind the walking, there were times that it was more annoying than others. For example, the main storyline has you walk to one place to do this or that, and then you travel across a zone or two to do this other thing, and then back to another zone to turn this in with someone else. And after a while, it just feels like a lot of walking. There are no mounts in the game, at least not yet, and so sometimes you do spend a fair amount of time just traversing the map. And what's more, there's no swimming either. So there are times you literally have to go way out of your way to walk around a body of water when you can clearly see where you want to be just across the shore. The game does have fast travel, but the price for this varies, and sometimes it's quite expensive. It requires Azoth, which if you have to travel a lot can be hard to come by. And what's more, it caps out at 1,000. In my opinion, developers need to make it so players can truly sprint, or raise the cap of the Azoth and lower the cost of the fast travel, or simply add mounts. I can't say for sure what would fix this issue, but I think most players would agree this is something that likely needs to be addressed. As a minor grievance, I'd like to say that being locked into a faction is also not ideal. Players choose their factions early on in the game. There are only 3 factions to choose from, and as far as I can tell, they don't differ in any way other than by name. The server I played on, for example, had many players actively playing as Marauders, but a few days in, and Syndicate had mostly taken over the map. Finding other players in my own faction was few and far between. It would certainly not be fun to be stuck in a faction with a dwindling population and no way to correct that. Not a lot of players will willingly delete their hard-earned levels and gear to start over just to swap factions. This is also true for other minor things like appearances. I didn't realize that my character even had red hair until I was at least 10 hours into leveling, but I can't change it. The game currently has limited styles and appearances, and once you've chosen, you're stuck with whatever you've picked, even if it's a woman with a mustache and a full beard. Overall, the game is well developed. This review is from the closed beta, which required that I simply pre-order the game, so of course there were some bugs. But there weren't many, and I personally didn't find any game-breaking bugs. I'm not saying there weren't any, but none that I personally heard about or found. The graphics are impressive, despite the early rumor that something in the game was causing players' RTX 3090 GPUs to fail. For the record, that's the video card that I use, and no problem for me. The sounds and environment of the game are well developed, even if, like most players, I skipped through most of the storyline. If the beta is any indication of what the game population will be, you're sure to have plenty of people to play with. And as of now, the release date has been pushed till September 28th. This gives developers a lot of time to change things and to address players' concerns. So should you buy New World when it comes out at the end of September? I can't answer that for you. If you like MMOs and you enjoy leveling, questing, PvP, PvE, or any of the other things I've mentioned in this video, then yes, you will probably like this game. I don't know if I'd say it's the next big MMO, but it certainly has the ingredients to be. It's well developed and shows a lot of work, time, and money by the developers. I personally highly recommend it. Did you try New World during the closed beta? Did you like it? Do you plan on picking it up when it comes out? If not, what's holding you back? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember, gaming should be fun.